Hey team, I wanted to make a video on how important communication is, and especially in times of vulnerability. I just made a video about vulnerability and power dynamics, and I think that communication is key, and communication and observation are key in moving forward. Regardless of where you are or who you are, I think that they are so important. If you see something that is incorrect, like, okay, so sometimes you have to re-break a bone in order to set it properly, and it's all about observation. How did you find out that that's not going to heal right, that that's not the right solution? You observed it, and you were able to study the nuances and recognize that that could cause longitudinal concerns down the line. And so it's all about, being able, and obviously, you see that you can back that up with evidence, and so you can share that and share your argument, and you can change things and you can make them better. And I think that that is kind of the key in teaching and learning and growing. Everybody is vulnerable in their lives. Everyone has, gone through different trials and tribulations, and they have learned from those things. And sometimes what you learn isn't what you're supposed to learn per se. And that's, like behavioral training. Sometimes you get something good, but you've learned the wrong lesson. And so I think that, it's a very fine line. How do you, after that happens, how do you rearrange it, redo it, and make sure that, the right things are being taught and the right things are, manifesting in order to keep society moving forward, in order to continue to help people to grow, learn, and, just keep things moving forward. So I think that that is kind of really, really important, being able to articulate yourself, being able to kind of study, all of the context, all of the rhetoric, when you are unable to express yourself. There's we are prided on making things more efficient in this modern era, and I was studying education, and they were talking about short attention spans, and that goes along with marketing. You make up your mind about something within I can't remember, like 20 seconds, I can't remember X number of seconds, but it's not a lot of time before you've already got your first impression of something, and you're willing to click off, or if you like something or you don't, pretty quickly. So and of course you can be wrong, and that's about observation, and that's about communication, and those steps are the essential part. You might not recognize the truth if you do not observe or communicate. And I think that is obviously not for good, and that's not going to move folks forward. So you want, the short attention span, the quick judgments, that's not going to get you too far. So I think, and everybody makes them, everybody does it, and so it's tough, and there are varying levels of importance to what you're observing, who you're observing, and so some things you could probably go without correction. You can let that one go a little bit there, or but other things can't, and so it's very, very subjective to if you're thinking like in a microcosmic scope, or if you are thinking on a macrocosmic scope, with psychology versus sociology, it kind of runs the gamut. And so it's literally everything. And so you really have to be paying attention. And sometimes that can be very difficult to do. And you don't know when you might not be, doing it, I guess. Giving it your best effort, or and it all depends on priorities, and it depends on your values as well. And so but you want to be sure to try, I think, especially if something is important is happening in that context. If it's setting precedence, or if it's a shift in in direction, like in a good way or in a bad way, I think that we definitely have to be mindful, observe, and see longitudinally how those things turn out, and also short term as well. And that's quite a journey, I think, for a lot of folks. So I know I have been watching, and it's been I would say a very non-traditional last however many years, given the last however many years. But I think that it has definitely been a learning experience for me. And I definitely see a lot of things that I do want to help, I do want to change. And you want to make sure that you voice those things, because other people might agree. We might be able to take a look at those things and say, okay, I see what you're saying. And of course, depending upon priorities, those things can kind of come and go. But just want to make sure that you're paying attention. So that's what I would like to say. I think that is key in moving forward. And so I wanted to share that opinion. Thanks so much.